prime amongst those areas of investment.
Mr. Tonko, you're so very correct about reigniting the American dream. And one of the dreams I have is to drive down Interstate 5 in California and not have my car knocked to pieces on the unimproved and the falling apart highways. In America today, we have 150,000 miles of roads that are in desperate need of repair. 150,000 miles. That's about 50 times back and forth across America. Now, if we did that and repaired those highways, what could happen? What could happen if we actually built a real robust transportation network in America? Well, back to the jobs issue, back to making it in America. What if our tax dollars were to be used to buy American-made equipment? This piece of legislation, H.R. 613, is now working its way into the transportation bill. The bill that our Republican colleagues put out has a very, very weak Buy America. This particular bill, H.R. 613, I happen to be the author and kind of proud of the piece of legislation, would require that our tax dollars, which will be used to fund the transportation program, the airports, the next-gen system, the roads and bridges that both Mr. Tonko and Mr. Altimire talked about, that those be made in America, that we make it in America. We use our tax dollars to actually make these things in America. So if we're going to build a high-speed rail, let's make it in America. And in fact, that's happened. In the stimulus bill, the American Recovery Act, there was a provision for some $12 billion for high-speed rail in various parts of the United States. And an additional sentence was added to that law that said, all of this money must be spent on trains and equipment made in America. Guess what happened? Foreign companies that build high-speed systems decided, oh, $12 billion? We want a piece of that. And so they came to America and they built manufacturing facilities. One in Sacramento. Secretary LaHood was just there a couple of days ago visiting that factory. German company, Siemens, built a large manufacturing plant in Sacramento, California to make light rail, to make locomotives for Amtrak, to make and to be prepared to build the high-speed rail systems that are coming. Why did they do it? Because it was the law of the land that said your tax money, American taxpayer money, must be spent on American-made equipment. What this bill does is to extend that idea as we go forward so that when we build bridges, the steel is American steel, and it's put together by American welders and by American ironworkers, and that the cement is American cement, and that the computer systems that are being used to develop these things are American-made. We can rebuild the American manufacturing sector when we decide it is the public policy that we use American taxpayer dollars to make it in America once again. There's another piece of legislation that does the same thing for energy products. You've heard of solar systems, the photovoltaic systems, the big wind turbines that we're beginning to see across America. All of those energy projects are essential elements in the future. And once again, our taxpayer money is used to support that. And my legislation says, if you're going to get American taxpayer money to support your solar system or your wind farm, then you're going to buy American-made solar panels, solar equipment, and wind turbines. We can make it in America. So all of these things fit together. A transportation program that is going to give America what it needs to travel, an education program so that our workers are prepared, and an R&D, research and development program that allows us to innovate for tomorrow's economy. Mr. Tonko, I think we have about 2 minutes left. Could you wrap it up for us?
Sure, absolutely. I think beyond the innovation and the ideas that translates into jobs, research equaling jobs, there are these benefits of connecting us as a nation. We're a large nation geographically, and the interconnecting that can be done through the investment in infrastructure is important. Now, we know beyond the roads and bridges and the rail and the grid system for our energy supplies, there's a telecommunications network. And that effort to create a national wireless initiative is very important. It will range from first responders with interoperable communications devices for first responders to a high-speed internet system, so that we're wiring into remote areas and enabling this country to truly prosper. So tonight we have heard such great comments about what we can do, what we must do, about cutting where we can by addressing inefficiency and waste and fraud and outmoded programs, but maintaining the vigilance about investing where we must. If we do not invest, we deny the American dream. If we invest, we reignite that American dream. We reignite the dream through the investment in a historic display of what America is at her greatest when she invests in ideas, she invests in her workers, invests in infrastructure, in small business, entrepreneurs, those dreamers, shakers, movers, builders, and invest in a thriving middle class. It can be done, and it will be done if we put our minds to it. Mr. Garamendi, we have work to do.
We have work to do indeed, Mr. Speaker. We yield back.
The gentleman yields back his time.